Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and it's the festive time of year.
Yay!
Yay! The children's play is over and was a huge success.
Yes, our children's play went great.
It was fun.
And it's fun, but now I feel
God.
it's kind of a lot of work for Stacey and I, so now I feel like I can kind of sit back, relax, enjoy the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm ready.
But the problem with the children's play comes the cookies and the cake afterwards. I ate like two or three cookies, and then I ate a piece of cake, and I don't feel I can't eat sugar.
And Brina brought a pumpkin roll that was fantastic, and it was just a lot of food.
And then we went out and ate with the Smiths last night, Arwen's birthday. So I had a piece of Sheila Connell's homemade chocolate cake with buttercream. So I've sugared for 2 days, Beth.
Oh my!
I can't sugar for 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm back. I'm back on the junk, people.
Yeah. Well, it's hard not to be this time of year. Like everything. We made a big breakfast at church on Sunday, and I had an extra coffee cake at home, so we have coffee cake on the counter. I had baked chocolate chip cookies a couple of days before because the kids were hungry for those, and then our neighbor brought over cookies, and then it was the cookie walk at the Catholic church.
Did you make? I've been once. Aaron Kretziger and I, we were going to go this last week,
every year.
Something happened. I'm glad I did not make it this year because I can't. I'm like the Cookie Monster. Cookies!
We did not need all those cookies, but it really is a super fun event if you've never been to that. It's always the first full weekend of December. But the Catholic Church ladies, they make such a big variety of cookies, and you just walk through. They give you a thing, like a to-go container, and you walk through, and then they put what kind you want in there. So I took the kids with me and Carissa's boyfriend, Cameron, and we got 3 to-go containers full of cookies. So we did one for my countertop, one for Carissa and Cameron to share, and then one for my grandma Zelda. So we went through and got a variety, and it was so good.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, Aaron and I were going to go, and then she ended up having to go visit her father, so we didn't go, which was kind of, because then we were going to go to Turkey Knob. I have never been there, so I wanted to do that. But we did the cookie walk the last couple of years, and I like to sign up for the baskets. I got a little gambling issue in me.
Yeah.
That's why I don't visit the gambling parlors, because there wouldn't be any food in our house.
They give away all these baskets, and you can buy tickets to. Yeah. And so I bought $20 worth of tickets.
Did you win anything?
No, I never win anything. I do it every year. I've never once won a thing from them. But I still support them. Well, I look at it like a fundraiser. I don't look at it like I'm going to get something. But it is. But still,
because it goes to Guadalupe, right?
I'm a little sad. I think the basket thing goes to Guadalupe, but I think the cookie thing goes to the Catholic Church Ladies Society or whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's neat.
So it was a good weekend all around. I mean, super busy, but really good.
Oh, yeah. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little yard. It was a little bit nice yesterday, so I went out and picked up the yard, and I was like slow motion out there. I'm tired, and it's funny because everybody's like, and I'm tired. I'm getting older, I'm 57, and I still work, and we do this show and then all the other stuff that we do on the side, and I think I'm more tired this year because we had such little children.
Yeah.
We had one pre-K and a kindergarten in the show, and what were there, 6 of them up?
And
1, 2, 3, 4,
and even
6.
our bigger kids that were on stage were still younger than what we're used to dealing with, which was fine. It all worked out, but
they were amazing.
It was just a little bit more work for us.
It was, yeah. The little children, which I liked having the little ones up there because they're adorable, and so we'll continue doing that. But I am more tired this time than and then we took on the ads by ourselves. Beth and I are kind of like, you know what? Let's just do it ourselves, and then at the end we look like this.
And then we're like, why do we do things ourselves? Why don't we ask for more help?
Would that be, are we both control freaks?
Maybe a little bit. But I will say this, that in the past, we have asked for help, and the help doesn't always make what we want done a priority. And when we ask for things to be done, we want it done quick.
Yeah, we want it done now.
Like, don't hem-haw around. Like, get her done. So,
which it's crazy because you wouldn't think 2 alphas could work together, but somehow we do.
Somehow we do.
We don't even fight.
I don't think we've ever had a fight.
We have not, and we've been.
It's a good thing because usually once I have a fight, I'm done with you. You won't hear from me again.
Well, it is funny because out of the 2 of us, I am the nicer one. People would probably, if we put a poll out there, who's nicer, Beth or Stacey? Everybody would say Beth, but Beth is actually more. I think you're a little bit Well,
I don't know that I'm making me sound pretty bad.
Especially with kids.
I don't know. Well,
with the kids.
Here's the difference.
I'm a pushover.
Exactly.
Beth is not.
I don't think I'm a super meanie, but I talk to the kids like they're adults instead of like kids. I don't baby them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you do this, and okay, now you can do this. I've already told you twice, so sit down. Like, I don't put up with a lot of.
No, she does not.
Anything. So.
And they're like, Stacey. I'm like, what, sweetheart?
They love Stacey. They don't care at all about me. They walk right past me
to get to me. Yeah.
But I don't care because I'm like, I really don't like. That's how I raise my own kids.
That's so, but I don't care.
I'm not treating them any differently than I do any other kid. It's just I'm not going to be.
That is funny, but
I'm not going to be the cuddly one.
Yeah, but I think overall, like if something mean needs to be done, I'm gonna have you do.
I'll always be the bad cop.
She'll
she
always
can be the good
bad
cop.
That's a better way of putting it. Bad cop, good cop. Because Beth will be. I'm vocal and I have my opinions and I'm strong with my opinions. But when it comes down to it, I'm like, Beth, hey, this
when it comes down to those kids, she's just like, it's okay, honey. Oh, sweet. Oh, it's all right, love. Like, you'll do better next time. I'm like, we've told you 3 times. Like, I don't know why you're not saying that any louder. Like, we keep saying louder and you're not getting any louder. Like, what's the deal? You know? And she's like, oh, I'm sure you'll get it next time.
Come on, baby. You can do it. Yeah. It is funny, though.
It's just 2 different ways of going about the same thing. Oh, gosh. Okay. But that's why we equal each other out so well.
It is. I picked this ad for you, my dear.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay, it's got your favorite person in the world on it.
Bing Crosby, right there, top and center. Mr. Bing Crosby.
Let's see what it says.
So then we got Bob
happy,
Hope.
Treat him right. It's a cigarette ad.
Oh.
Chesterfields. Have you ever heard of those?
Yes.
For Christmas gifts, here's the answer. Cancer. Look how he's holding. Who's the guy holding? Okay, so you've got Bing in the middle.
Yeah.
Of course, you've got Bing Crosby. Is he on the? Bing Crosby looks like he's actually on the box.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's on the box.
He is the biggest star of all of them.
Oh, I don't know. Between him and Bob Hope, who do you think?
Nope. I got. It's Bing Crosby. I'm going to talk about Bing today, and I got figures to prove that he was the biggest star of them all.
Bob Hope, but I don't know who the other 2 guys are.
Well, it says their names. Can you zoom in on that?
It says their names?
Yeah, by their hats.
Oh, holy Moses. Arthur Godfrey.
Okay.
Bing Crosby. Perry Como.
Oh, Perry Como.
Okay, Bob. I'm glad I've got the ad right in front of my face, and I never knew there was stuff.
Chesterfield cigarettes.
Chesterfield cigarettes, but that was
back when they bought a whole carton at a time.
Because Beth is obsessed with Bing Crosby.
He is my celebrity crush. I know he's dead and gone, but he's pretty darn cute. And White Christmas, he's pretty cute. When he got old, I don't like to think of him as like the later years. I'm talking about the young Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
But here's a joke for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Chesterfield.
Chesterfield who?
Chesterfield my leg, so I slapped him.
Oh, my God.
What? Because that was Chesterfield cigarettes. Chesterfield.
And
that's my only Chesterfield joke. I've known that joke for years.
I've never even heard of a Chesterfield joke.
Well, there you go. Now you have.
I have now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got we're going to just talk about some people. I'm going to talk a little bit about Burl Ives because Holly Jolly Christmas was in our play this week. And then we're going to.
He's from Newton.
And he's from Newton, yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of neat. A local guy. So I know we're a little soon for a commercial break, but I want to go ahead and take that commercial break, and then we come back. We're going to touch up on these guys. Okay. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I'm going to talk about Burl Ives.
Yes.
Burl Ives is one. I love Burl Ives because I love his voice.
Uh-huh.
And I love the Snowman on Frosty the Snowman's one of my favorites.
Mine too.
I love, when I go home today,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get hot tea, and I'm going to watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, that would be
I'm
fun.
going to watch Frosty the Snowman while you work.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to do, I would invite you over, but you have to work.
I know I have to work this afternoon, so I can't do that, but maybe tonight I can. Maybe I'll do that this evening.
I love those. I love those old ones.
Mm-hmm.
The game plan was to sit Jack and JoJo down and watch them, but my babies are sick. But anyway, I'll watch it tonight, and then I'll watch it again with them because you can't beat those old ones. Oh, and that Charlie Brown.
I was getting ready to say that. We just watched Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love that
a couple weeks
one,
ago, and my kids are like less than impressed with Charlie Brown. They think it's lame, and I'm like, sit down and shut up.
Did
and
you tell them that they're lame? Get over it.
You're gonna sit there. You're gonna watch this, and you're gonna like it. That's what I told them. I am bad cop. But they were like, okay.
Here's a cookie. Shut up. You're gonna like this show. Okay, but anyway, I do like Burl Ives, and I didn't realize that he was,
From Newton?
From Newton.
Have you seen the statue of him there?
I guess I haven't paid attention.
Uh-huh. Next time we go through there, I'll show you. It's right by one of the main roads, and it's like he's sitting, if I remember right, people in Newton might be.
Is it downtown on the square?
Kind of. It's like a block, east of there, I think. But he's like sitting on a bench, if I remember correctly, or there's a bit, and like you can sit next to him, maybe.
I think I have now. It's been a long time since I've gone through Newton.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too, but that's how I'm picturing it in my head.
Yeah,
something like that. Anyway,
well, let's talk about. I'm going to read this because whoever wrote this article is amazing. I love this story. Before beloved singer and actor Burl, how do you say his middle name? Icle. Icle.
Icle.
Icle.
I guess.
Icle. Ivanhoe Ives.
Wow.
That's his name. Burl Ivanhoe Ives.
They were into the long I sound.
I think so. Enchanted audiences worldwide with his warm, gritty voice. He traveled a long road that seemed unlikely to lead to stardom. Born in rural Hunt City, Illinois in 1909.
Okay, so he wasn't born in Newton.
No, where is Hunt City? It's got to be right by Newton.
Oh, okay.
It's probably like a Reinert or something where you just drive through.
Try Googling that, please.
Yeah, Hunt City, Illinois, 1909. Ives entered the world in humble circumstances. Basically, they were very, very, very poor. As a member of a poor farming family, young Burl grew up toiling away on grueling tasks meant to supplement the meager family income. So, born in 1909, a poor rural farming family. So this little boy is not educating; he's working the farm.
Okay.
His childhood education, like I said, he didn't have a childhood education, and in the massive school system, he was working. He didn't have a formal schooling, let's just say that.
Okay.
Ives blossomed into a spirited boy whose jovial personality and musical inclination distinguished him. Music and storytelling, a childhood passion from a young age, Ives found solace and escaped in old folk ballads and country sing-alongs. He would listen intently to tunes floating from front porches in his traveling as a youth, fascinated by the way melodies preserved people's stories. By the age of 14, he started playing the banjo.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, banjo.
I've heard banjo's really hard to learn.
I've always heard that too, but I love a banjo.
I love a banjo too. I love to hear banjo music.
Oh, me too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like a bluegrass. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are just like not a big fan of bluegrass, but I like a bluegrass.
Me too.
That picking and a grinning.
Uh-huh.
Hee-haw.
Yeah.
I loved hee-haw too.
Oh, I liked hee-haw too.
You know what else I liked as a child that everybody would make fun of? Lawrence Welk.
Oh, uh-huh.
My granny tortured me, which what I thought was torture back in the day, but now that I'm older, I'll YouTube Lawrence Welk.
I know. Me too. I love Big Band. I love all that stuff. I could totally watch Lawrence Welk now. Now, whenever I was in high school and we only had PBS as like one of our only stations, Lawrence Welk came on like every night, and I was like, oh, I hate the show.
Yep.
It was so boring back then, but
I like it now.
A kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah. Where is that at?
Hunt City, Illinois, would be right there.
Where's
then
Newton?
Zoom out a little. Where's Newton to that?
Well, I can't see a thing.
Okay, Newton is there.
Okay.
Okay, so Hunt City. Let's. Can you put that into miles for us, please?
Huh.
Maybe not. Okay.
I'm going to say this far.
I'm betting it's like 10 miles away or something.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
He's buried in Newton.
Yeah.
When he died, he died somewhere else, and then
they brought him back to Newton.
He died in Washington, and they brought him back to Newton. He's buried by his mother.
Washington State.
Washington State.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, he picked up the banjo and the guitar, and they said he was a prodigy. They said this boy could just pick up anything and play it. As a wandering teenager searching for work during the Depression era, he discovered public performance to be a potent panacea for the bitterness of poverty and grueling physical jobs. Okay. So I'm kind of feeling bad for him. Here this teenage boy is.
He's worked super hard.
Yeah.
He's learning to play the banjo.
Yeah.
And he's broke.
He not only worked in the farms, but he also worked in factories as a young man, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old.
Wow.
Ives immersed himself in the rhythms and narratives of traditional American folk music. He realized such culturally rich songs granted him access to a heritage that stretched long before him. Ives also relished opportunities to inject humor or personalized flourishes into well-known standards for live audiences. Playing songs in his soulful, resonant baritone for spare change or passing trains helped Ives endure an often lonely, transient young adulthood. So that's funny. So here's this young kid, and he's got this booming voice. He's a prodigy, and he's like playing at train stations.
Yeah. But somehow he hit it big.
But now his big break came in New York.
New York.
He's going to New York City.
So he just up and left Newton.
Yep. Said, I'm done. New York. I'm done.
Okay.
Big breaks in New York City theater by the late 1930s. The 20-something Ives had decided to pursue music professionally rather than as a hobby during seasonal employment. He moved to New York City and quickly earned notice in Greenwich Village folk circles, getting pegged as a rising young balladeer.
Okay.
This reputation scored him an invite to perform on WNYC radio in 1937. His rich voice and emotional delivery dazzled sophisticated city audiences, with one New York Times writer declaring him the best ballad singer in America.
Wow, that's good. But his voice really did have what it took, though, because it sounded different than everyone else's.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
he had his own sound.
Yeah. Ives soon found his breakout opportunity on The Great White Way itself when he was cast as the lead in the smash 1940 Broadway musical The Boys from Syracuse. His theater debut landed with resounding success, showcasing abilities to impart warmth and humanity through song.
Okay.
Rave reviews specifically cited Ives' uncommon talents at storytelling interpretation as something new and wonderful. So it's almost like, I feel like Burl Ives is the first rapper.
Yeah. Like
he's a storyteller.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Can't you just see him in the snowman?
Yeah. Do we have pictures of him?
Let's show a couple pictures of Burl. There he is.
Okay.
Look at him.
And they're
all smokers.
Oh, right. Everybody was. But
everybody's a smoker.
Like, you kind of get where they, in the Frosty the Snowman, how they kind of gave some of his facial features to the snowman.
Absolutely.
Like, he kind of looks like him, the snowman, which seems kind of strange to say that. Some people might not see it, but I see it.
I see it. Oh, yeah. And I think I have another one of him, too.
Okay.
Look how cute he is. I love that picture. And he's got a cigar. But you're right. Look at the hat. That hat is the hat on the snowman.
Yep.
Yeah, they
I wonder if that was taken around the time of that. And
I don't know.
And he wore that on purpose.
I don't know, but he's adorable.
Yeah, he is. And, he looks like a genuinely nice person.
Oh, I bet he was awesome. Every picture that I found of him, he had that big smile. But I couldn't find anything of him young. Every picture I went through, so many pictures of Burl.
Oh, really?
And I couldn't find a picture of him young.
As a young man or a boy?
No, I couldn't find it. Yeah. La 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 la. With the fact that he could interpret the songs that he was singing, such acclaim earned him both a large platform for concerts and radio work, plus more Broadway productions, thirsty for his magnetic, singular presence. By 1945, Ives had starred in productions. Listen, I didn't know this. This is all the musicals he was in. Sing Out, Sweet Land, and appeared on NBC radio program that introduced him to millions of Americans. That year also marked his first studio album, The Wayfaring Stranger, considered a seminal entry in popularizing traditional folk for wider audiences. As Ives' star rose in theater and music, fame spread nationally. It became clear as barnstorming style crystallized in ragged 1930s living conditioned him uniquely to convey the simplest hopes and sorrows within American heritage. So you got to take it. He's doing all this during the Depression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's a folk storyteller in New York City in the 1930s.
Wow. To just be able to travel back and see some of those performances. Wouldn't that be something?
I'm going to look up because I literally only know his
Christmas stuff.
His Christmas stuff. I didn't realize that he had such a broad.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's a pretty big star, really.
Yeah, he really was.
And people drive by that statue every day, and especially young people, they don't have a clue how big he was.
Oh, yeah.
Or who he even was,
Right. As Ives' star rose in theater music, fame spread nationally. It became clear. I just read that. Scene-stealing film roles parallel to conquering Broadway stage with uncommon authenticity and earning a record contract. Ives also contributed memorably early supporting appearances in Hollywood movies. Directors recognized his weathered voice. I'd like to hear it. Yeah, I want to go back. I watched Frosty.
I wish we could play a clip for you when we talk about people like this, but we can't because we don't have the copyrights to it, so it will get thrown off the air or off of YouTube or whatever. So can't share that, but we can talk about him.
We can talk about him. I know. We did a show one time on our favorite music and found out we couldn't play it.
Yeah, we played a lot of clips of music, and
I even had Jim do a whole thing for us, and my family couldn't.
Yeah, it was all tossed out. Womp, womp, womp.
Womp, womp, womp. Directors recognized his voice, and his sly charisma made him ideal for sage cowboys, no-nonsense cops, or eccentric country bumpkins. In films spanning the 1940s like Smokey and Alias Jesse James, Ives crafted scene-stealing moments around refrains of iconic songs like Blue Tail Fly. Yet Ives' most legendary Hollywood hour came when he brought Southern patriot Big Daddy Politz, bristling, whoever wrote this used some serious words here. Bristling, tragicomic life opposite Paul Newman in 1958 Best Picture winner Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. As the tough, dying plantation owner Big Daddy, Ives earned effusive raves, an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Did you know he was an Academy Award winner?
Nope, did not.
Me either. Academy Award winner for Best Supporting Actor and saturation in the public imagination. In years following, Ives rounded out his triple threat entertainer status as a reliable film actor by releasing his records like A Little Bitty Tear, Funny Way of Laughing, which consolidated his radio fame into top chart visibility. Reinventing with the times as the 1960s unfolded the flashier rock, Motown, and British pop trends, shoveling folk aside in the mainstream music consciousness. Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Ives adeptly refined his sound and performance outlets to avoid fading away. He translated signature tunes into gently modernized arrangements while dabbling in spoken word story songs like a smash Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. Simultaneously, Ives prioritized connecting with young audiences by acting in Disney films and network TV.
Yep.
Which makes sense because this is the
how
60s.
This is how I
was
knew
born
him.
in 67.
Well, I wasn't born until later, but his stuff was always on reruns.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Though Ives presented a non-controversial image publicly, he also aligned himself with the era's countercultural impulse for personal expression in more subtle ways. His records would mix traditional with modern message tunes like In the Summer of His Years, released after Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope, never heard of that one.
I'm telling you, I'm going to look up his music.
Mm-hmm.
And Ives lent narration to a classic counterculture film in 1962, Monterey Pop Festival documentary. As the 1960s closed out, Ives gracefully transitioned into an elder statesman role that balanced mainstream TV appearances and even product endorsements with bold touches of social commentary. Later life in film and music as he entered the 60s and 70s, Ives chiefly committed his talents to the mediums that initially popularized his film, theater, and story song records. He earned recognition for induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, really? Wow.
Right, and starred in carried Broadway revivals of allegorical, that's a weird word, plays like Knickerbocker Holiday. Meanwhile, on scenes, Ives transitioned fluidly into heartwarming character roles as grandfatherly doctors, judges, or wizened mentors in wholesome comedies. Mm-hmm. By his late years, Ives had accumulated an astonishing 300-plus acting credits.
Wow. I didn't know he'd done all of that.
I didn't either. Even amidst his final decade working constantly in network TV and family films, Ives also periodically revisited musical projects that highlighted underrated aspects of his legacy. In key albums from the 70s and 80s, like America Sings of Heroes and Home, he got to further showcase himself as not just an interpreter carrying centuries of ballads forward, but also a distinctive songwriter, penning poetic originals about the nation he crisscrossed. Just weeks before his death in 1995, at the age of 85.
95?
He died in 95, and he was 85 years old. Ives even recorded what became a Grammy-winning gospel album called The Lord Is My Shepherd.
Now I kind of want to listen to that.
Me too.
So he didn't die until 95, and I lived here at that time. So that meant when they brought him back to Newton to bury him, I would have heard about that, surely.
Yeah, how do we not know this?
And I was just kind of oblivious to it because I would have been a teenager, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Reaffirming his love of spiritual hymns across an incredible 6-decade career, traversing every facet of entertainment during periods of immense cultural change, Ives ultimately poured the hard-won wisdom of a transient early life spent connecting America's communities into a matchless creative legacy spanning from Tony Awards to beloved film roles to classic records, keeping folk traditions alive. While granted less flashy fame compared to musical contemporaries like Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley, Ives earned arguably peerless admiration as a masterful vessel through which diverse generations experienced the profound weight of history with humble, uplifting American songcraft. It's
wow.
Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It says here that let me find out where he was. Basically, where does it say that he passed away at? And then on his obituary, there's just a bunch of stuff. He died in Washington, and he was cremated, and the ashes, he must have been Scottish because he was held at his in Los Angeles. He died in Washington, And then they had a ceremony for him in Los Angeles, and it was at a Scottish Rite Cathedral in Los Angeles. The ashes were taken to Newton, Jasper County, Illinois, and the urn was interred beside his mother with the Masons and the Baptist minister from his boyhood church conducting the final commitment. Yeah,
That's
he
cool.
won. Yeah, I mean, it was just...
We're going to have to make a trip to Newton. Take a look at the statue and take a look at his grave.
Right. Yeah, unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
I had no idea Burl Ives was that big.
I knew he was big, but
I didn't know that
he
big.
was that big. And
Yeah.
I also only pretty much associate him with Christmas stuff.
Me too. But now we know better.
Yeah.
Broadway.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
but,
what a talented guy.
what a talent. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Burl.
And I love rags to riches stories.
Oh, me too. Talk about the American dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Work hard for it.
Yep.
I mean, hit the ground running at 14 years old and
Yeah.
no schooling, no education behind him at all.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a commercial break, and Beth is going to come back with her favorite person in the whole world beside me.
Bing Crosby.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about some singers and some guys that are associated with Christmas. We just got done talking about Burl Ives. I'm going to talk a little bit about my favorite, Bing Crosby from White Christmas. So Mr. Bing Crosby was born in 1903.
Okay.
In May, and he was born in Washington. And then he grew up in Spokane, Washington, okay? So that's where he went to school. His house that he grew up in actually stands on the campus of Gonzaga University. You've heard of
really?
that, right?
So they preserved his home?
Well, I think it was right there anyway, but he went to like Gonzaga High School, and then he went to Gonzaga University.
Nice.
He didn't graduate. He went there for 3 years, but he never really graduated because he got into music. But I think later on in his life, they gave him an honorary degree, but he didn't actually graduate. So
I like it when they do that, when they give people honorary degrees.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
I mean, he went there for 3 years.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty good.
He probably took off and started his career.
He was the fourth of 7 children, and he was Irish American. His father was Scottish. But when in 1917, he took a summer job at an auditorium where there was musical acts coming in. Okay, so if he was born in 1903 and 1917, he would have been, 14? And he started seeing some big singers come in. Al Jolson was one, and he was just like, oh my gosh, like enthralled with this. Like this was his first taste of like music and performing, and he was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I have a whole bunch of stuff on him, but he actually was one of the first artists to want to use a recording device. And instead of just like singing on the radio or whatever, like live on a microphone, like recording things were just coming out. So he, when he did his music, I'm going to get to that part here in just a minute. He made a deal to record everything that he did.
Oh, really?
He shaped the entire music industry by how he wanted to record everything.
So, like, you're talking like when they did the radio shows and everybody was singing live, he was like started doing the recording. Mm-hmm. So he's responsible for people not being able to really sing, but making it big.
Well, I don't think he had anything to do with that. We're not blaming anything bad on him.
No, I'm sorry. We're not blaming Bing is. Yeah.
But he is known to have an intimate singing style, and he influenced a lot of male singers that followed him, like Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, Dean Martin, Elvis Presley, John Lennon. All of those people were influenced by Bing Crosby.
I'm a big Dean Martin fan. Mm-hmm. I like Dean Martin.
And let's see, right after World War II, in 1948, a magazine declared him the person who had done the most for the morale of overseas servicemen. They also declared him the, quote, most admired man alive. Ahead of Jackie Robinson and the Pope. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. He won an Academy Award for Best Actor for the movie Going My Way in 1944 and was nominated for another one for the sequel, The Bells of St. Mary's. Have you ever seen that one?
I have not.
I haven't either. I want to watch it.
We're going to have to watch it now. Is he in it? I'm assuming he's in it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was the #1 box office attraction for 5 consecutive years from 1944 to 1948. He received the very first Grammy Global Achievement Award, and this part really got me because I didn't know this, that people could even do this. He is one of only 33 people to have 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Did you know you can have more than 1 star?
No.
Yeah, because
what's that about?
They're organized into groups. So you have motion pictures or the movies,
right?
Then you have radio, and then you have audio recording.
Really?
He has a star in every section. There's only 33 people that have that.
Ooh, we probably need to Google who the other ones are. I'd like to know who the other ones are too.
Yep.
Very interesting.
So this is the part about the recording industry. Okay. Crosby influenced the development of the post-World War II recording industry. After seeing a demonstration of a German broadcast quality reel-to-reel tape recorder that was brought to the United States by a man named John T. Mullen, Crosby invested $50,000, which back then that would have been a whole lot of money, in the California electronics company called Ampex to build copies. Okay, so he's seeing what came over from Germany after the war, that, hey, there's a lot of potential here for this to record, and I'm going to drop a bunch of money and start this company called Ampex and make copies of what people are singing or saying or whatever. He then persuaded ABC to allow him to tape his shows and become the first performer to pre-record his radio shows and master his commercial recordings onto magnetic tape.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, I had no idea Bing did this.
Yeah, through audio recordings, Crosby produced his radio programs with the same directorial tools and craftsmanship, like the editing, the retaking, the rehearsal, same like you would in a movie. And that became the industry standard. Wow. So before, everybody was just getting on there and just winging it live, and now he's pre-recording all these radio shows, and they're making it more like a movie. But also, in addition to his development of videotape, he bought television stations, he bred racehorses, and he co-owned the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball team, during which time the team won 2 World Series.
Wow.
So he's a little all over the place. Like he
really is.
He is like the man.
Yeah. I have the, in my house, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but I have the, when my mom was little, her and Uncle Floyd, the radio that they listened to as children.
Really? I haven't noticed it.
It's in my house. It's by the fireplace. I'll show it to you next time. And so it makes me happy. So Bing Crosby's little melodious voice came through there. My mom probably had her ear up right up next to it.
Probably so. That's cool. So here's a little bad news about Bing. I am going to tell you something a little sad about him.
What?
He did have an alcohol problem.
Bing Crosby?
But early in his life, and then he fixed it because he's Bing. So Between the late...
Is his real name Bing?
No, we're going to get to that.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, yeah.
Between the late 1920s and the early 1930s, he had an alcohol problem, and he spent 60 days in jail for drinking and crashing his car, and this was during Prohibition.
Whoa.
He got his drinking under control in 1931.
Yeah. Okay.
So he had to stop that. He probably thought, man, if I'm going to be famous and do all these things, like I can't be having this time in jail.
Can't be doing that.
Can't be in jail. That's
can't
bad.
Be in jail.
Bad for business.
Especially when you got that wholesome image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of course, he was part of the Rat Pack.
Mm-hmm. Was he?
Was Bing? Oh, Bing wasn't a Rat Pack.
I'm not sure he was.
No, that was Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, and Peter Lawford.
Yeah.
Those guys. Yeah, they're drunks, smokers, and mafia.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But I love the Rat Pack.
Crosby was married twice. His first wife was a nightclub singer and an actress whose name was Dixie Lee. Uh-huh. And he married her in 1930, but sadly she died of ovarian cancer in 1952. Aww. They had 4 sons. They had Gary, the oldest. Remember that name because we're going to talk about him in a minute.
Okay.
And then they had twins, Dennis and Philip. And then they had another son, and his name was Lindsay. Back then, Lindsay was kind of a boy's name.
Yeah.
But just like all boys' names, everybody turns them into girl names.
Yeah.
Let's see. They lived in Hollywood. After his wife died, he dated some other people, and then he got married to another actress named Katharine Grant in 1957, and then they had 3 children.
Okay.
So they had Harry Lillis III. He actually played Bill in Friday the 13th.
Really?
If you are familiar with that movie.
I am. A little Jason Voorhees action here.
Mary Frances, that's his daughter. She's best known for playing Kristen Shepherd on Dallas.
I love Dallas, yeah.
I know you did. And then Nathaniel, his youngest son, he was actually the 1981 U.S. amateur champion in golf.
Wow. We need to take a commercial break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and finish
talking about Bing.
Bing.
And why his name's Bing.
We'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting to work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm talking about Bing Crosby, and there's a lot of interesting things about his life, but in the late 30s and 40s, it says that his life was dominated by the fact that his wife was excessively drinking. And
Second wife.
Nope, first wife.
First wife.
First
okay.
wife. She hadn't died yet.
Okay. She
had a drinking problem. He tried all these different specialists, took her to all these specialists trying to get her help. She couldn't quit drinking. So he asked for a divorce in 41, but they didn't get divorced because he felt like he had to be there as much as he could for the kids. So he ended up cheating on her, had an affair. that was kind of found out. He fell in love with this lady that he was having this affair with, and he wanted to marry her. And he went to he talked to different people about it. He went to a priest. He was Catholic. He went to a priest and was like, I know that this is wrong, but this is our marriage is in shambles, and I love this woman or whatever. And the priest said, being you are Father O'Malley, and under no circumstances can Father O'Malley get a divorce. I think Father O'Malley was a character he played.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway, he also talked to his mother about it, who was very Catholic, and they were absolutely not. You cannot get divorced. He did not. He dumped the girlfriend or whatever and stayed married. And sadly, though, his wife did pass away not too long after that. Okay, so that was there. There's a long story there. I just really shortened it.
Yeah.
Kids. After Bing Crosby died, his oldest son Gary wrote this tell-all memoir.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I haven't read it, but now I kind of want to. It was called Going My Own Way. It was written in 1983. It was very critical of Bing Crosby.
Really?
He depicted his father as cruel, cold, remote, and physically and psychologically abusive.
Oh.
Well, he acknowledged that corporal punishment took place, and basically, I haven't read it yet, but I feel like this oldest son was kind of just wanting to get back at his dad a little bit for
mommy dearest action.
Yeah, and of course, I don't know the whole story. I wasn't there.
Who knows?
I mean, a lot of times people are very different than what you see in public. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, could be.
Yeah.
However, what makes me think maybe none of this is really that true. That maybe there's little nuggets of truth in his book, but not all of it. It's highly exaggerated. Is that all of the siblings came back and was like, what? Like, what? Like, we also were raised there. Like, no. Like, yes, Dad spanked us. When we needed it, we got spankings.
Yep, I'm a spanker, so yeah, I'm okay with that.
It never went any further than that. And so one of his brothers, Philip, he stated to the press that Gary is a whining crybaby who walks around with a 2x4 on his shoulder just daring people to nudge it off.
I don't believe it. I'm not buying it.
And then Philip also told People magazine, he said, we never got an extra whack or a cuff we didn't deserve.
Right.
All the other siblings, there were 6 total kids. All of them also backed up that, what? Like, this is, no, he punished us when we needed it, but he was not abusive.
No.
Not psychologically abusive, not physically abusive. One of the other brothers said, well, maybe, Gary was the oldest, so maybe he got treated, a little differently than the rest of us. Still, no, there was no abuse. So I don't know if Gary just wanted his 15 minutes of fame or what. So then there was another book written on Bing Crosby in 2018 by a man named Gary Giddens, and he also claimed that Gary Crosby's memoir is not reliable and is not true. But what this book kind of talks about is the fact that Crosby, in his will, he established what is called a blind trust. And that meant that all of his sons, and I guess his one daughter, would get an inheritance, but nothing until they reached the age of 65. He wasn't going to leave them any of his money until they reached the age of 65.
Why?
Because he wanted them to work for their own money. Mm-hmm. But instead, they did get a few $1,000s a month from a trust left in 1952 by their mother. So this wasn't their father's money. This was their mother's money, Dixie Lee, the oldest 4 kids.
The oldest
4. They got oil money because she had oil money. But all of that went in the 1980s when the oil went crash. They lost all that. So the 4 oldest kids had some oil money from their mother. But the rest of them got nothing until they reached the age of 65. And I'm thinking, Bing, you dummy, how do you know they're even going to live to the age of 65? Well, guess what? They didn't.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, let me tell you this. So,
oh, my God. Well, Bing.
I know, right? Like, I had him up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's falling
down here. All right. So, Lindsey Crosby, that was one of the sons. He died in 1989, and he was 51. Okay, no money for Lindsay. Dennis Crosby died in 1991, and he was 56. No money.
No money.
For Dennis. Guess how they both died?
Huh.
Suicide. By a self-inflicted gunshot wound. How sad is that?
That's sad. I don't know. Bing may not have been the person we think he is.
He may not have been. I suspect he was a workaholic and not with his kids very much.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, probably.
And I'm just judging. I'm going to stop. Okay. Gary Crosby, the oldest one, the one that wrote the book, he died of lung cancer in 1995 at the age of 62. No money for you, Gary.
Nope.
Philip Crosby, he died of a heart attack in 2004 at the age of 69. So, yes, I think Philip received some of the money, but he only lived for 4 years.
Right, yeah.
And by that time, you've already made your own money. You have your own retirement.
Yeah.
I mean, the money would have been helpful a long time ago when he was raising his family.
Right. Huh.
Nathaniel.
Keep going. I can't handle it.
Nathaniel Crosby, that is Crosby's youngest son from his second marriage. He is, I believe, still alive, but he was a former high-level golfer. Youngest winner in history at the time. He is an investment banker, but he occasionally makes singing appearances.
Oh, okay.
Then there is Denise Crosby, Dennis Crosby's daughter. She's known, that would be his granddaughter. She's been on Star Trek and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Doesn't talk very much about his daughter, but last year on XM Radio, both one of his sons and one of his daughters had a live radio show where they talked about him and played a lot of his music, and that was I'm sure it's probably on reruns this year on XM Radio. Let's see. So
wow.
He was still recording in the 70s. That's when he did that famous, you can watch it on YouTube, where he sang with David Bowie. And then, and then he died like 5 weeks after he did that video, that recorded thing with David Bowie. And then, so he died, I think, in 1977.
77. He was 74.
Yep, 74. He died in Spain. He
went, I read that. Yeah.
He went there to play golf in October of 1977. He had a great golf game. He played with 3 other guys, and Bing was a really good golfer. I don't remember what it said about him, but he was way up there. And they ran into somebody, a construction worker, out in the middle of the course. He asked him to sing him something. Crosby stopped and sang "Strangers in the Night."
Yeah.
And then they all headed back to the clubhouse about 6:30 p.m. And Crosby was about 20 yards away from the clubhouse.
Yeah.
And he turns around and looks at the other guys and he says, "Hey, that was a great game of golf. And fellas, let's go have a Coca-Cola." And then boom, fell over dead. Just instantly.
His estimated net worth when he died was $50 million. $50 million, and his kids had to wait till they were 65. That's a control freak right there.
I think maybe he was controlling.
That was a control freak.
I kind of feel like he could possibly have been a narcissist.
Maybe. I would say so, but that's total control when somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, $50 million. But yeah, I heard that was his last words were.
Mm-hmm. Let's go have a Coca-Cola.
Let's go have a Coca-Cola. That was a great game.
Yeah. But, okay, so I never did explain his real name. His real name was Harry Lillis Bing Crosby. So everyone called him Bing from the time that he was little. One time he was interviewed and he was asked, "Why do they call you Bing?" And he said, "Because when I was a kid, everywhere I went, I always had a little gun on my side. I was always playing cops and robbers, and I'd go bing, 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 bing."
Really?
And that was a super cute story. But then later he was like, "No, I made that up on the fly. That's not why they call me Bing." He had a neighbor, and she always called him Bing something.
Bada Bing.
Anyway, it just kind of stuck. That his neighbor kind of did it. So, but he didn't do it just for, television or anything. Like he had that name since he was a kid. So
well, I think that. I would say that Bing was probably a narcissist and a control freak. And there's the oldest son. There was probably truth and, embellished truth, I would say. Mm-hmm. But back in the day, I mean, parents were spankers, and I believe in spankings, not beatings. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But you can't. I'm a true believer in spare the
rod, spoil the child.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little swat here and there. My boys turned out just fine. Me and my sisters were. But but I would say there's a little that whole not leaving your children money.
Yeah,
that's weird
part
to me.
Was a little weird.
I get still that you want from the grave.
I get though that you want to like make them have a work ethic and make them I can kind of see that, but at the same time, like when you have $50 million, like give them some of it.
And the thing about it is, but honestly, I mean, he died at 74, so his kids would have been they would have already been making their way to that point. It's not like he died, you know. Like Elvis Presley, died when Lisa Marie was 10.
Yeah.
And so she had to wait so long, but then she got that. You know what I'm saying?
Have you read her book?
No.
That's out. Oh man, it's good.
Is it good?
Yep.
I didn't know she wrote a book.
Yeah. She had it started and then she died and then her daughter finished it.
Oh,
from her recordings.
The actor. I don't understand that. I guess I don't understand that. I had a fantastic childhood. Perfect father. Mother was fantastic. Didn't drink, didn't smoke. My dad washed up the ground she walked on. Both worked, so I don't understand that. I don't understand what that would be, why Lisa Marie had the issues she had. You need to
read the book or listen to the audiobook. Julia Roberts reads the audiobook. It's fantastic. She does a great job. But also Riley, the granddaughter, Elvis's Grace, she also reads her part. It's read in 2 different voices.
Yeah.
And it is really, really good. And it explains a lot about Lisa Marie.
Yeah, because I never did. Yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, well, you'll figure her out if you read the book.
Well, I like her.
It has the F word in it. If that offends you, It does have the F word. But yes, you will walk away actually liking Lisa Marie more than you might now.
Yeah, because I just never did understand her.
Yep.
And then the whole Scientology thing, I don't get that.
Well, that's explained too.
Okay. All right. Well,
all the answers are in her book.
Well, I just got Melania Trump's book, so I'm going to go home and read it today. Okay. We're going to end with this. Now, I don't read these because sometimes I like to be surprised myself.
Okay.
Deep Thoughts
by Jack Candy.
Frank knew that no man had ever crossed the desert on foot and lived to tell about it. So he decided to get back in his car and keep driving.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, I just realized we forgot to show pictures of Bing Crosby.
Oh,
let's throw them up real quick, and then we're going to say goodbye. There's one, and let's see the other one.
Bada
and
Bing,
there's my man Bing. Yay, Bing.
Oh, look
Always
at
with
him.
the pipe. Yeah, so see those pictures now. You can see why I like Bing.
Yeah,
but
that's
anyway.
right. We still like Bing. Everybody's got skeletons.
That's
Everybody's
right.
got their own set of demons. We
That's
like
right.
Bing.
So anyway,
he
thank
can
you.
sing.
Yes, so thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next time.
God bless you and have a great day.